Welcome to the Revenue New South Wales Education Video Service, brought to you by the Education team. In this video, we will provide you with an overview of surcharge purchaser duty. This video is the first video within a four-part series we have on surcharge purchaser duty. The information provided in this video is of a general nature as at November 2021. If you have any specific queries, we welcome you to contact our office or seek independent professional advice. This video will cover the following topics. What is surcharge purchaser duty? Who is considered a foreign person? What is the rate of SPD? Calculating SPD? What is the liability date for SPD? And SPD and transfer duty exemptions and concessions. What is surcharge purchaser duty? Surcharge purchaser duty is an additional duty payable by foreign purchasers of residential related property in New South Wales. If a purchaser or transferee is classified as a foreign person for the purposes of the Duties Act 1997, they must pay a surcharge, currently 8%, on the taxable value of any residential land they buy. Section 104L identifies transactions on which SPD is payable, such as declaring a trust, transferring a lease or leasehold interest in residential related property, and in some cases deeds of family arrangement. Who is considered a foreign person? Generally, a foreign person for duties purposes is an individual who is not an Australian citizen or ordinarily resident of Australia. We will discuss the definition of ordinarily resident in the next video. Individuals, corporations, trusts, and foreign governments can all be deemed foreign persons for the purpose of surcharge purchaser duty. The status of an individual needs to be determined for most transactions as the foreign status of companies, partnerships, or trusts purchasing residential related property is determined by the underlying ownership of the entity. What is the rate of SPD? SPD came into effect from the 21st of June 2016 under Chapter 2A of the Duties Act 1997. Chapter 2A of the Duties Act 1997 sets out the rate of duty being 4% for transactions between the 21st of June 2016 to the 30th of June 2017 and 8% for transactions from the 1st of July 2017. Calculating SPD. If a transaction is liable to SPD, the surcharge is calculated on the dutiable amount and is to be paid by the transferee in addition to the transfer duty payable on the acquisition of residential related property. Let's look at a simple example. A foreign person purchases residential property in New South Wales for $1 million on the 1st of November 2021. You will see that on top of the normal transfer duty, this person, who is classified as a foreign person with 100% interest in the property, is also liable for SPD. What is the liability date for SPD? A liability for SPD arises in the same way that a liability for transfer duty arises under Section 12 of the Duties Act. That is, when a transfer of dutiable property occurs, or if the transfer of property is affected by an instrument, liability arises when the instrument is first executed. For an electronic registry instrument, the date of first execution is taken to be when it is first digitally signed by a subscriber. It is accepted that the date of first execution for an agreement for sale of land is the date of exchange. The liability date is often referred to as the relevant date when determining SPD. SPD and transfer duty exemptions and concessions. It is important to note that certain transactions that are usually exempt from duty or receive a concession under Chapter 2 of the Duties Act may still be liable for surcharge purchaser duty. These include, but are not limited to, purchasers eligible for duty concessions or exemptions under the First Home Buyers Assistance Scheme, and transfers of the principal place of residence between married or de facto couples, Section 104B of the Duties Act 1997. These transactions will still be liable for surcharge purchaser duty if any portion of the property is being acquired by a foreign person. This brings us to the end of our first video in our surcharge purchaser duty video series. In the second video on SPD, we will go through definition of a foreign person, determining the foreign status of an individual for SPD, SPD refund provisions, and assessing documents liable for SPD. If you have any questions relating to SPD, or specifically this educational video, please call 1300 139 814 or email duties@revenue.nsw.gov.au. As the need arises, Revenue New South Wales may issue Commissioners' practice notes and revenue rulings to help the public understand this area of law. We also have general information, case law, and frequently asked questions available on our website. To stay up to date on any new developments, changes, or upcoming events, please visit our website or subscribe to our email alerts.